All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the channel. We're talking about none other than the Denver Broncos, who last year had a phenomenal draft, selecting Bo Nix, leads them to a 10-7 record. They make the playoffs, and they have a phenomenal free agency period, picking up Hufanga, Drake Greenlaw, picking up a new tight end in Evan Ingram. And then the draft happened, and folks, I'm in awe of the Denver Broncos draft selection thus far. Starts off at in the first round at pick 20. How is Jahdae Barron available? How is he available? And he joins the Denver Broncos defense, folks. I was doing a live stream after round one, and we were just going through all the teams, and I saw Barron was now a member of the Denver Broncos team. And so I'm pulling up their depth chart, and I'm just literally going through the line. I'm saying, look, here's their penciled in starters. Here's their penciled in depth. It's insane. This was one of the league's best defenses in the NFL last season. They finished third in total scoring, giving up only 18 points per game, and they just added possibly the best cornerback in the entire NFL draft in Barron. And he's so versatile. He's good in everything. I mean, seriously, he was the highest graded cornerback in college football last season, 91.1 grade with at least 400 coverage snaps. So he truly was the creme de la creme in college football at his position last year. He's got very good awareness, very good spacing. He's just an impressive IQ guy. He's also incredibly fast at the combine. He was one of just 7 cornerbacks to clock a sub 4.4 40-yard dash. So the dude's a stud. He's a phenomenal athlete. And what's even crazier is he joins a Denver Broncos secondary that already had the Defensive Player of the Year. You already have the best cornerback in the NFL, and now you have one of the youngest cornerbacks in the league. And then also people are forgetting, not Broncos fans, about Riley Moss. So Barron's size is pretty average, but he is just truly like he's got technically shorter arms, right? But it does not stop him in any way, shape, or form. He is a proven playmaker. In fact, he played for the University of Texas, which is in the SEC, which is good enough for me. But he tied for second in the SEC last year with 5 interceptions. He's good in run defense as well. He's good at tackling. God, tackling is huge in today's era. He loves to hit as well. He can line up in the slot. He can play outside corner. He can play safety. He can even play linebacker. I mean, he truly is unbelievably versatile. He's kind of like the Joker on defense for Sean Payton, right? So positional flexibility is going to be everything, because as you guys experienced specifically with like Riley Moss towards the end of the year, cornerbacks get hurt. DBs get hurt all the time. In fact, like, they literally get hurt all the time. They're always banged up. It's a long NFL season, and they're just spending the whole year tackling. So having this guy be able to play slot, having him to be able to go outside, deep safety, corner, or linebacker, it's insane. And it's just going to help out, the defense in general. But he really broke out last year playing on the outside, having 5 interceptions, and earning the Jim Thorpe Award as the nation's best defensive back. And then one of my favorite picks, RJ Harvey. Now, this is really interesting because RJ is a little bit small. So we have, like, literally the end of the draft is about to start in 30 minutes. So I'm curious what Denver is going to do. There are a bunch of trades involving, including RJ Harvey here, but he's a little bit smaller, right? And so Denver's entire running back room is very small, but he's extremely quick. He's extremely agile. He's got very good footwork. At the combine, he posted the 4th fastest 40-yard dash among running backs with a 4.4 second time. So breakaway speed is there. He can also catch the football, averaged 13.3 yards per catch in 2024. So 41 players, folks, in the NFL had more rushing yards than Denver. So leading rusher in Javonte Williams, who obviously is no longer with Denver. Last year, Harvey alone had pretty much 1,600 rushing yards, including 6.8 yards per carry and 22 rushing touchdowns. Now, he came from UCF, and you might hear that and you're thinking, okay, it's not an SEC, it's not a Big Ten name, they don't play anybody. They play plenty. Right? That's a Power 5 team, and they play plenty of good defenses. Florida, Utah, Cincinnati. I mean, they had a good schedule. UCF is, now in a good conference. So people are kind of putting him in the Joker role for Sean Payton's offense because last year he rushed for 10 or more yards on 23.3% of his carries. Dude, that's insane. That was by far the highest rate in all of college football. Only 10 teams produced fewer explosive running plays from running backs, which is 12 or more rushing yards, than Denver last season. They only had 25, all right? Only 10 teams had worse. The Broncos were also 19th in explosive run percentage. And yeah, RJ Harvey's going to change that because he had pretty much 3,000 combined rushing yards in the last 2 seasons. And that is more than pretty much every running back in college football except for Genty, Omarion Hampton, and Texas Tech's Taj Brooks. So this guy is going to be a stud. And like I said, my point is, Estime is not the biggest guy. He's like 5'11". Jalil's obviously not a big guy. Beatty's like 5'8". And I'm missing one, but Jalil, Audric, Beatty, none of them are big dudes, and RJ Harvey's only 5'8". So just something to keep an eye on. But, like I said, RJ is perfect for kind of this Joker role Sean Payton is looking to bring to this offense. And just, he's going to, no matter what that running back room looks like as far as snaps next season, extremely versatile. All right, we're running out of time. Let's move to Pat Bryant, U of I's finest. I'm from the beautiful state of Illinois, if you guys didn't know. In 2024, Pat Bryant finished third in the Big Ten in receiving yards per game at 82. He was also tied for third in receiving touchdowns. And my favorite stat, 77.8% of his catches in 2024 resulted in either a first down or a touchdown. So the dude's hyper efficient. Now, he's not fast, so he has to be efficient. His 4.61 40-yard dash tied for the second slowest among combined receivers. But like, he made his living at U of I on tough contested catches, right? He constantly beats press coverage. He averaged 18.2 yards per reception last season. So he's a crafty, maneuvery, just creative guy. And he's very good at route running. And it's important to keep in mind, Cortland Sutton's 30, but he's heading into the final year of his contract. So we saw Marvin Mims break out in the second half of last season. Troy Franklin, Devon Vele had intriguing, they had their moments in their rookie season. But I'm really glad that you went for Pat Bryant, who's going to be able to provide immediately day one, but long-term, kind of a good wide receiver 2, maybe one of the best wide receiver number 3s is what some people are saying for the future. And then finally, Savion Jones. We're going to have to do a whole Broncos draft video in a couple of days. But Savion Jones, LSU, I love when teams draft SEC football players. Last year, he had 43 pressures and 4.5 sacks. Powerful edge rusher. You traded up to get him, clearly wanted him, and he's going to be, to me, primarily a situational pass rusher, but he does have all the tangibles to get into the starting lineup. So I loved all these moves. I seriously, the first 4 draft picks, I give the Denver Broncos a simple A at the very worst. That's how good it is. That's how good Barron is, in my opinion. So, folks, thank you for watching. Hit that like button, hit that sub button. Give me your grade for the Denver Broncos draft so far down below. And like I said, stay tuned for a couple more days because the draft's about to finish in an hour or half hour. So, thank you for watching. Have a great rest of your weekend.